At the wedding, as Jeremy Johnson recited his vows, my eyes were fixed on his adopted sister, Ashley Johnson. Why was she wearing the heirloom wedding dress Eleanor left for me? Jeremy Johnson frowned, his voice a low reprimand. Is this the time to talk about that? The next second, Ashley Johnson collapsed to the ground. Jeremy Johnson immediately dropped the ring and rushed her to the hospital. Eleanor, who has Alzheimer's, thought Ashley Johnson, wearing the heirloom wedding dress, was me. She rushed to chase after her but tripped. Outside the emergency room, ER, I received a call from Jeremy Johnson. This happened so suddenly, you can surely understand/be reasonable. I'll make up the wedding to you later. I had understand/be reasonable 100 times already. Jeremy Johnson, my heirloom wedding dress. Do you have no heart? He said, annoyed. Is a damaged heirloom wedding dress more important than a human life? Eleanor Miller's family, we are very sorry. Despite our best efforts, the patient passed away at. My head buzzed, and I instantly couldn't hear anything. Live. Ethan Johnson supported me, comforted me, and took care of all the procedures for me. Arthur and Eleanor ran a custom bridal boutique, and Arthur Miller's antique shop was diagonally across. When we were little, Ethan Johnson and I spent all day in the shops, but we saw less of each other once we started school and grew up. Half a month ago, I took Eleanor back to visiting the family plot and ran into him back in the country. Eleanor was confused because they both happened to have the same last name, so she always thought of Jeremy Johnson as the Tang family boy. Ethan Johnson's expression was complex, and he said he would definitely come to the wedding. We're not sad. Arthur came to take Eleanor home. I hugged him, and finally, I cried. After barely composing myself, I went home to get the clothes Eleanor was to wear. Jeremy Johnson was feeding Ashley Johnson. Seeing me, Jeremy Johnson's face briefly showed an awkward flicker, but he still finished feeding her that bite before putting the bowl down. Ashley scraped her hand. I told Ashley to move in for a few days. She had a fight with Mom. When we bought and renovated our house, Jeremy Johnson insisted on reserving a room specifically for his sister in our marital home, decorated to her liking. The argument was over, the room was ready, so it would be a waste if she didn't move in. The heirloom wedding dress. TSK. Are you never going to let this go? The moment I opened my mouth, Jeremy Johnson impatiently interrupted. Is that heirloom wedding dress your ancestor or something, that you're mourning it like this? My heart was struck by a heavy hammer, and I swayed. Ashley Johnson, looking aggrieved, tugged on Jeremy Johnson's finger and apologetically said to me, I'm so sorry, Olivia. The doctor cut the heirloom wedding dress. It's all my fault. How much do I owe you? Just don't fight with Jeremy. I'm really scared of fighting. Her eyes didn't say that, they clearly held a challenge. But Jeremy Johnson didn't see it. He gently comforted her, telling her not to blame herself, that it had nothing to do with her. It's normal for siblings to have a good relationship. Even though I felt uncomfortable with him bringing his sister on dates, I didn't think much of it. Until Jeremy Johnson's birthday, when Ashley Johnson got drunk and cried while hugging him, I wish I were your actual brother. Only then did Jeremy Johnson tell me they weren't blood relatives. Ashley Johnson was the daughter of his dad's friend, and his family adopted her. She repeatedly crossed boundaries, and he indulged her every time, then turned to me, explaining and asking me to understand/be reasonable, not to overthink it, or think the worst. I was truly tired of trying to understand/be reasonable. I pushed open my bedroom door, and Ashley Johnson's cat suddenly darted out. Ashley Johnson gasped, scooping it into her arms and scolding it, when did you sneak in? I went inside and saw that the closet was completely open, hangers had fallen, and every heirloom wedding dress was snagged and pulled by cat claws. The one I had altered for Eleanor, hanging outside, had cat urine on it. This was what Arthur and Eleanor wore on their wedding day. Eleanor cherished it her entire life, instructing me to make sure she wore it when she passed. I closed my eyes in pain, finding it hard to breathe. I'm so sorry, Olivia, I really didn't know. Ashley Johnson suddenly grabbed my arm, and instinctively, I raised my hand and pushed her away. Aw, Ashley! She fell, and the cat jumped from her arms, pounced on me, and scratched my face, a burning pain instantly flaring up. A vase on the cabinet was knocked over and hit her head. "What are you doing?" Jeremy Johnson roared. "Ashley just came back from the hospital. She's very weak." "How could you lay a hand on her?" My hands trembled. "I didn't." "My heirloom wedding dress, it's always the heirloom wedding dress. Is there nothing else in your mind?" Ashley Johnson stood up, pulling away from Jeremy Johnson's hand. "Don't fight, both of you. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have brought Oreo here, and I shouldn't have come myself. Olivia, if you're angry, just hit me. Don't blame Oreo. It's been sick these past 2 days, that's why. Olivia, tell me how much, and I'll pay for it." Jeremy Johnson gave me a cold sideways glance, then led Ashley Johnson to the bathroom. "Pay for what? Don't say things like that again. Her things are mine, and mine are yours. We're all one family, she won't care." Looking at the half-open door and the cat comfortably sprawled outside it, I laughed out loud. They were one family. I was the outsider, the third wheel. I took a deep breath, carefully packed Eleanor's heirloom wedding dress, planning to send it to the dry cleaner first. As I was leaving, Jeremy Johnson suddenly pulled me back, telling me to apologize to Ashley Johnson. My voice was flat. "Why? On what grounds? Shouldn't you two be apologizing to me?" Jeremy Johnson frowned. "Are you deaf? Ashley has apologized to you so many times. She apologizes, and you push her, now she has a bump on her head, and the foresight is bleeding. What about the scratches on my face?" He couldn't see them, his eyes were solely on his sister. "My friends all said he was good to me, considerate, and meticulous. But compared to how he treated his sister, it was still far from that. If Ashley Johnson coughed, he had to meet her to confirm if she had a fever. When she had her period, he would nag her for half an hour, telling her not to crave cold drinks. He would wash her underwear, claiming it was a habit from childhood. But he never developed the habit of washing his girlfriends, telling me not to be dramatic. With a lingerie washer/delicate cycle, why would I insist on hand washing? No normal siblings act like this. I should have stopped deluding myself long ago." "Oh, so now you're feeling wronged? Ashley hasn't even cried yet," Jeremy Johnson said impatiently, turning to pull out some tissues and stuff them at me. My arm went limp, and they fluttered to the floor. "Olivia Miller, don't be you're being ungrateful. I'm only giving you 1 day. You need to think about what you've done." I turned and walked out, expressionless. Eleanor was cremated. Ethan Johnson held my hand tightly. I scrolled onto Ashley Johnson's live stream. Oreo was an influencer cat with hundreds of thousands of followers. It was in a cage, with a sign that read, "Grounded." Yes, it caused trouble, it's grounded. How could our adorable Oreo make a mistake? Oreo is so pitiful, let Oreo out. Anyone who doesn't forgive our Oreo is a bad person. Just then, a man's hand entered the frame and adjusted her collar. Fans immediately started spamming Oreo's dad, teasing that Oreo's dad was too possessive. She blushed. "You're seeing things, don't talk nonsense." "Huh? Olivia, is that you? You're here?" She looked surprised. "Olivia, don't go. Please don't go. Listen to me." She brought Oreo out, looking pitiful. "We really know we were wrong. Please don't be angry, okay?" I felt disgusted and exited the stream. But after she ended the live stream, she actually tagged my account directly, apologizing to me. Her fans immediately swarmed to curse me out, saying all sorts of nasty things. "Who do you think you are, bitch, faker? Don't be you're being ungrateful. Don't play dead, or your whole family will die." Jeremy Johnson called, asking if I had you cooled off. "Tomorrow is Oreo's birthday. I ordered a cat cake. Pick it up and say it's from you, then apologize to Ashley." "I have nothing to apologize for. I didn't touch her, she faked it." Jeremy Johnson raised his voice again. "You're truly unappreciative. Being stubborn is one thing, but you want to blame me too? Ashley even advised me that since the wedding wasn't finished, you were unhappy, so we should get married/sign the papers quickly to put your mind at ease. Now it seems there's no need." He hung up. I smiled. There was no need long ago. In the past year, we had set over a dozen dates to get married/sign the papers. But each time, it was forced to be cancelled because Ashley Johnson had something come up. Our engagement photos were rescheduled 5 times too. Someone was sick, the cat had diarrhea. Takeout was stolen, the delivery person was rude. Even if she had a nightmare at night, Jeremy needed to rush to her side immediately. I went back to that house to move my tea. NGS. Jeremy Johnson saw me return and let out a scoff. Scared now? You said you wouldn't get married/sign the papers, but you're back so soon. I know you love me, and I love you too. What I said earlier was just out of anger. How could we not get married? Be good, just apologize properly to Ashley, and don't make things difficult for her anymore, then this matter. What are they doing? Ethan Johnson walked in with movers. Jeremy Johnson tried to stop them, but Ethan Johnson blocked him with his arm. The next second, Jeremy Johnson was thrown to the ground and severely beaten with several punches. Jeremy! Ashley Johnson came out, pulled Jeremy Johnson up, and was almost crying from distress. Jeremy Johnson was enraged and indignant, his face beet red, and tried to fight back, but Ethan Johnson easily dodged him. I ignored them and went inside to direct the workers. Olivia! Ashley Johnson hugged my leg, and I immediately got goosebumps, telling her to let go. Don't move out. I'll leave right away. Please don't break up with Jeremy, I beg you. She even knelt and bowed her head to me. She should go to Eleanor at the grave and do that. Ashley! Jeremy Johnson hugged her tightly. Even though I hadn't done anything, his gaze, full of reproach, made it seem like I was forcing her. If she wants to leave, let her. We'll see how she begs us later. Ashley Johnson applied medicine to Jeremy Johnson's face. He stood with his hands on his hips, watching us move, scoffing, making such a big scene. Won't you just have to move back in later? Immediately after, Ashley Johnson cried out in alarm, Oreo? Where's Oreo? She immediately ran out, calling its name. Jeremy Johnson's face hardened, and he pointed at me. If Oreo gets lost, I will never forgive you. Before he finished speaking, he took off running after her. After moving the last load, we went downstairs. Jeremy Johnson rushed towards us furious. Usly, if you don't find my cat today, none of you are damn well leaving. Ethan Johnson stepped forward. Try me. As tensions flared, Jeremy Johnson noticed the black armband on Ethan Johnson's shirt sleeve. His face instantly turned pale. He ripped off my jacket, revealing I was also wearing a mourning band. How could this be? Eleanor? His face was filled with shock and disbelief. When did this happen? Why didn't you tell me? I'm your husband. Who is he? I said calmly, thanks for your concern, but it's none of your business. Jeremy Johnson, we're over. Jeremy Johnson couldn't reach me by phone, so he went directly to the family home, knowing I would surely bring Eleanor there to be buried with Arthur. Liv! I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. Please talk to me. Mom told me Eleanor fell, but why did you tell Mom she was fine? We all thought Eleanor was okay. How could you handle something this big by yourself? I held Ethan Johnson's hand, who said I was alone. Jeremy Johnson's eyes immediately flared with anger, and he swung a punch at Ethan Johnson. So he's the little tang Eleanor always talked about, right? And you treated me as his replacement? I stared into his eyes. Yes, I never loved you. Are you satisfied? Take your bouquet and get out. Eleanor doesn't want to see you. Jeremy Johnson slammed the bouquet to the ground, veins bulging in anger. Olivia Miller, you'd better not regret this. I won't. That night, I couldn't sleep. Ethan Johnson came in to sleep on the floor and talk with me. When he talked about the SATs, I finally started to feel drowsy. I don't know how long I slept. When I opened my eyes and met his gaze, he was changing the wet cloth on my forehead. I had a fever. His hand was warm and slightly damp, and I leaned my face into it greedily. I wish you were my actual brother. He paused slightly, then smiled and stroked my face. I don't think that's good. Being a brother is a specific role. But no matter what you see me as, I will always be your family. My heart fluttered irregularly a few times, and I closed my eyes as if to escape. Tears slid into my ears, cold. Family. Growing up, I only had Arthur and Eleanor. Arthur passed, Eleanor got sick, and I considered Jeremy Johnson my most dependable family, but the most important person in his heart was never me. The next day, Susan Johnson came to pay respects to Eleanor. Olivia, don't worry. Susan Johnson only recognizes you as her daughter-in-law. Wait for Susan Johnson. Susan Johnson will definitely make that jerk kneel and apologize to you. I shook my head. Thank you, Susan Johnson. He and I aren't a good match. Don't force it. That evening, I was on an 4 drip at the hospital when Jeremy Johnson called from his mother's phone, accusing me. You made my mom kick Ashley out? Weren't you going to break up with me? Is playing hard to get fun? They started arguing, and Jeremy's mom was so angry she was hospitalized due to high blood pressure. What about you is worth me playing hard to get? Jeremy Johnson, stop with your narcissism. A week later, Ethan Johnson and I were at the airport waiting to board when I saw Ashley Johnson live streaming at the beach. Her eyes were red, and her face was streaked with tears. She looked utterly pitiful. Fans kept asking what happened, urging her not to do something reckless, reminding her she still had Oreo in them. Wiping her tears, she picked out an asympathetic comment. Is this related to the last live stream? It's somewhat related. But I was in the wrong first, so it's understandable that she won't forgive me. But Oreo doesn't understand anything, why would she? She hesitated, then trailed off, giving everyone enough room for imagination. I am a terrible person. I shouldn't be alive in this world. Even my mom said she regret ever tack. ING me in. Fans then ran to my DMs and cursed me out, demanding to know why I was so relentless, saying things like no grudge is more important than a life. If anything truly happened to Ashley Johnson, I would be a murderer. I dialed her number, but she hung up. I exited the live stream, wrote a text post, and tagged her in it. First, she wore my heirloom wedding dress without permission and damaged it. This indirectly led to Eleanor's death. Second, her cat ruined dozens of my heirloom wedding dresses, all of which were Arthur and Eleanor's belongings and held significant meaning to me. Cats don't open closets themselves. She deliberately destroyed them. Why should I forgive her? Third, the reason she held a grudge against me was because I was Jeremy's girlfriend, and she wanted to force me to leave him. Now Jeremy and I have broken up. Fourth, please stop your insults and curses. Some fans saw it and started flooding the comments, demanding an explanation from Ashley Johnson. She kept shaking her head. No, that's not true. I didn't mean to. Just then, a man ran over from a distance. Jeremy? Are you trying to scare me to death? The two embraced. The live stream lost its picture, but the sound was still audible. Jeremy, believe me, I really didn't mean it. I didn't want to ruin things between you two. I don't understand why she's saying these things about me. I shook my head and chuckled softly. You two can keep acting out this play. I posted screenshots of my own memo. January 1st, XX, on New Year's Eve, he went to pick up his drunk sister. I walked 2 hours home by myself. January 17th, XX, we had a movie date, but his sister had period cramps, so he left me to buy her a heating pad. March 7th, XX, on our anniversary, during dinner, he kept talking on the phone with his sister. He left halfway through to help her finish homework. February 17th, XX, he abandoned me halfway through Propo. ING to go catch a cockroach for his sister. February 20th, XX, during the makeup proposal, his sister's cat vomited, and he left again. October 10th, XX, City Hall, he didn't show. November 22nd, XX, City Hall, he didn't show. There were 11 entries for City Hall, didn't show. From the first entry, over 2 years, Jeremy Johnson stood me up 100 times because of Ashley Johnson. Not to mention, intimate behaviors like a kiss on the forehead, rub her stomach, and buy underwear for each other were countless, just like a couple. We'd had arguments and fights, and he would always explain and deflect with sibling relationship or family affection, asking me to understand/be reasonable and not overthink it, or think the worst. Ashley Johnson's fans were outraged and unfollowed and unsubscribed. Oh my god, I never thought she'd be this kind of person. Actually, I always thought she was a bit manipulative. They're not actual siblings, are they? Absolutely disgusting. Of course, there were also comments calling me pathetic, saying I deserved it for not breaking up with him after all that. It truly was my own fault. But every time I felt disappointed, I would remember the image of him catching Eleanor's vomit with his bare hands, without any hint of disgust. I turned off my phone, took Ethan Johnson's hand, and stood up to board the plane. After half a month of travel, I felt much more relaxed. But Jeremy Johnson and Ashley Johnson weren't doing so well. Ashley Johnson had lost over 100,000 followers. Even after clarifying they weren't blood relatives, people still couldn't accept it. The boomerang of online bullying came back to her, and she genuinely attempted suicide once. Jeremy Johnson changed various apps and accounts to message me, beg me to post another clarification, saying that everything I posted was made up to get back at her. You can ask for anything. I'll propose to you properly again, we'll get married/sign the papers immediately, and then have a grand wedding. I promise I'll keep my distance from Ashley from now on, okay? I just laughed. Such a big sacrifice, such a big temptation for me. Before wedding planning, I resigned from my previous job, planning to report to my senior's fashion design studio after our honeymoon. Jeremy Johnson went to the studio to wait for me/stake out. On my very first day of work, I ran into him. What a bad omen/bad start. Liv, wait. I truly know I was wrong. I apologize to you. Please, can you let Ashley off the hook? It's all my fault. She's just too dependent on me. I didn't handle the boundaries well. I scoffed. Let her off? Wasn't she the one hounding me all this time? Please, just let me go. That evening, my colleagues and I went out for dinner. Jeremy Johnson still hadn't left. Suddenly, large words lit up on the building in front. Liv, I'm sorry. Liv, I was wrong. Liv, forgive me. Me? I walked over with a cold expression and told him to turn it off immediately. Liv, don't you remember? Today is our first. My patience snapped, and I slapped him. There is no us anymore. Get lost. 5 years ago today, he and I first met. My roommate and I were participating in a campus singing competition, and he was the student body president, sitting on the judges panel. His final comment was that my outfit was unique. I was eliminated in the first round. That evening, I ran into him again while eating a late-night snack at the cafeteria. Can we share a table? My roommate teased, is it because our Liv's outfit is unique? So the president couldn't see all the empty seats? He gave an embarrassed smile, and the person is special too. Falling for him was instant, but it was worn away completely over 5 years. I had drank quite a bit without realizing it. Ethan Johnson came to pick me up and asked if I remembered when we were kids, we secretly drank the adults' homemade fruit wine and were drunk for a day and a night. There were even photos of us, passed out in each other's arms on a lounge chair. At first, the adults thought it was funny, but then they couldn't wake us and got worried, so they took us to the hospital. I laughed. Arthur Miller even disciplined you. Ethan Johnson's face suddenly came closer, and my breath hitched. If I do something bad, will you hit me? A very light kiss landed on my forehead. It felt like it burned right through my head. Jeremy Johnson quieted down for a few days, then came looking for me again. His mom was sick and kept asking to see me. Please, Liv, for the sake of me having taken care of Eleanor, okay? It was a stroke. The left side of her body was paralyzed, and she couldn't speak clearly. Ollie. Olivia. She held my hand, tears streaming down her face, then pressed my hand and Jeremy Johnson's hand together, urging us not to break up. After leaving, I washed my hands several times. Liv, my mom really can't handle any more stress. Could you please come see her more often, and play along with me in front of her? Jeremy Johnson pleaded pitifully. I wiped my hands. How far do you want me to play along? Do I need to get married/sign the papers and have kids? He was surprised. You'd be willing? I laughed out loud. He truly dared to dream. This is the last time. Don't come looking for me again. Please remember, I've broken up with you. Your family's matters have nothing to do with me. He chased me out and ran into Ashley Johnson downstairs from the hospital wing. Jeremy, I want to see Mom. Olivia, you're here too? She genuinely looked weak now, her skin bloodless. Why aren't you wearing more? Jeremy Johnson took her hand, a habitual, subconscious gesture. Realizing I was watching, he awkwardly let go. As I left, Jeremy Johnson called out to and Ashley Johnson suddenly felt dizzy. Low blood sugar again? Didn't you eat breakfast? I did, but then I threw it up. Half a year later. After such a long time, Jeremy Johnson came to me with another fit, holding an adult-sized stuffed animal. Ashley Johnson had once taken one from me. Liv, happy birthday. Liv, listen to me. I truly know where I went wrong, and I know why you're angry. Ashley and I crossed a line. We've talked it through clearly. She's going to study abroad after the new year, and she's also promised to try dating. Will you come back? Please give me another chance. I truly love you. I can't live without you. I listened blankly, waiting for him to finally stop. Impossible. Can I leave now? He grabbed me. Liv, there's something I've never told you. He said the reason he was overly partial and doting towards Ashley Johnson was because he once had a biological sister. The adults had to leave for an urgent matter and asked him to watch his sister for a bit. His friends called him to play soccer, and seeing his sister sleeping soundly, and his mom saying she'd be right back, he left. When it was almost dark, he returned home, but his sister was gone. She had woken up, found no one home, opened the door to look for them, and fell down the stairs. All these years, not a day has passed without me blaming myself. I've compensated all my guilt on Ashley. You can understand/be reasonable about this, Liv, right? I took a deep breath. I'm sorry to hear all that, but it has nothing to do with me, and I don't need to understand/be reasonable. We can't be together, Jeremy Johnson. Seeing Ethan Johnson get out of the car, I jogged over and hugged him tightly. He had been on a business trip for half a month, and coming back to pick me up from work, his good mood was largely ruined by Jeremy Johnson. Ethan Johnson didn't get in the car, he walked towards Jeremy Johnson. Is T.S. Liv's birthday gift? Thank you, we'll take it. He was asserting his claim. Here's my business card. If anything comes up in the future, contact me directly. Don't disturb my fiancée anymore. She's preparing for a competition lately and can't be distracted. Jeremy Johnson clenched his jaw as he took the card, crumpling it in his hand, then pushed Ethan aside and rushed in front of me. Liv, I want to hear you say it. Do you really not love me anymore? I sighed helplessly, then listened carefully. I haven't loved you for a long time. He stared at me, his eyes reddening. I'm sorry, Liv. I lost you myself. On the way back, I looked at the large stuffed animal filling the back seat of the car and said to Ethan Johnson, you accepted it, you're responsible for getting rid of it. He smiled and said he knew. After the new year, Jeremy Johnson actually messaged Ethan Johnson. His mother passed away. On her deathbed, she was still calling my name, asking if I could go to see her off one last time. I refused. But he called me by any means necessary again, saying he was afraid Ethan Johnson hadn't told me. You can rest assured now, I didn't want to go myself. She's so cold-blooded, why do you still like her? Ashley Johnson's voice came from the other end. Jeremy Johnson told her to stop and apologize to me. I didn't finish listening, I just hung up. A few days later, I received a package. Jeremy Johnson mailed me the emerald ring his mother left for her daughter-in-law, saying it was his mother's last wish. I mailed it back, but Ashley Johnson came to cause me trouble again. Only when you're dead will my Jeremy truly forget you. I dodged quickly, but the knife still cut my arm. Jeremy Johnson begged me to settle it privately. Oreo is gone too. Ashley was too traumatized, that's why she was so confused. I'll agree to any conditions you have, just please don't press charges against her, okay? I nodded. All right. Compensation. She kept complaining about paying for my heirloom wedding dress, but I haven't seen a penny. and she incited her fans to cyberbully me online, so emotional distress damages, pay for all of it. One more thing, never appear in front of me again. Okay. Jeremy Johnson managed to utter with difficulty. I'll bring Ashley to apologize to you. I sneered, no need. I couldn't bear it. Later, to make Jeremy Johnson feel sorry for her, Ashley Johnson self-destructively found a lowlife who had a criminal record and was unemployed/had no ambition, and quickly became pregnant. This man was also her fan. After Jeremy Johnson beat him, he posted Ashley Johnson's inappropriate photos online. At the same time, he exposed that not only was she not as caring as she pretended to be, but she also abused cats. After Oreo died, she got 2 more, wanting to continue making videos. But her image had already collapsed, and netizens weren't buying it. People cursed her under every video, so she took out her frustration on the kittens, blaming them for not being as cute and well-behaved as Oreo. Audio and video recordings of her tantrums were also posted online. Netizens doxed her, threw paint on her, and cursed her, saying she deserved to die for profiting from animal cruelty. Ashley Johnson had a mental breakdown and live-streamed an attempted suicide. The live stream was quickly taken down/banned. One evening, I received a call from an unknown number, a bar. Jeremy Johnson was drunk, couldn't pay his bill, and gave them my phone number. Liv. Jeremy Johnson snatched the phone. Come pick me up and take me home. I feel so awful. He started crying. My mom's gone, Ashley's gone too. It's all my fault. I killed them. I shouldn't have said those things to her, Liv. My condolences. I hung up and messaged the bar to find someone else. I had no relation to him. After that, I didn't hear from him again, but on holidays, I would see flowers he sent at Arthur and Eleanor's at the grave. Ethan Johnson and I got married. His parents live abroad, and one stop on our wedding ceremony trip was there, where we had a very simple ceremony. My mom said, deeply moved, I never thought you two would circle back and end up together. It's truly wonderful. They teased Ethan Johnson, saying that when he was little, they asked if he wanted to marry Liv, and he shook his head, saying no, he wanted to be a police officer and go undercover when he grew up and couldn't get married, or else bad guys would retaliate against my family. Everyone laughed until they blushed. Ethan Johnson was embarrassed. Have you laughed enough? He pulled me, and we escaped together. Whose side are you on? And still laughing? I begged. I was wrong, Ethan. My childhood dream was to marry you. I even wrote it in my diary. He suddenly went quiet, not moving. Really? Really, really. Little Ethan was fair-skinned and handsome, smelled nice, quiet and not mischievous. Who wouldn't like him? When you went abroad, I was sad for a long time. He raised an eyebrow. Then why didn't you answer my calls? I was embarrassed too. Phone bills were too expensive back then. Kids were awkward and didn't make small talk like adults. He also didn't talk much, so after a couple of sentences, there was nothing left to say, which was awkward. That night, I was almost asleep when he suddenly spoke, very seriously. I really regret it. I shouldn't have gone abroad. Or I should have taken you with me. I laughed. Kidnapping a child? He hugged me, to kidnap you to be my wife, playful connotation of raising someone to be a spouse. Then you wouldn't have had to suffer so much. I shook my head, self-deprecatingly, it was my own fault for being too naive in love. He nipped my shoulder. Don't think about anyone else. Me? He brought it up first, but then he was the one who got upset. After the trip, we returned home and invited friends for dinner. A mutual friend told me that Jeremy Johnson had applied to be stationed overseas and went to Africa a few months ago. A year later, Jeremy Johnson performed an act of heroism, saving a Chinese girl, and made national news. A lawyer contacted me, saying Jeremy Johnson had a will, leaving all his property to me. I donated it. Ethan Johnson suggested we also write a will. Who knows whether tomorrow or an accident will come first. We are legal spouse. I am the primary beneficiary of your property. He smiled. Don't worry, I definitely won't go before you. We can talk about the will later. I did receive a written promise. The end.